Hi Scorpio, and welcome to your modern shaman Maria and RainbowLand here with the weekly intuitive and astrological heartful forecast for the week that starts at the 12th and ends at the 19th of November 2018. I'm out here in the Danish nature, as you can see here, with a fire. Astrology. Autumn at its last peak before 11/11, and with a leg that just got operated 2 days ago. My father came here to help me put something on around the fireplace so that I can stay here for all day while he's doing concerts. He's a choir singer in several choirs. I'm gonna start with the astrology card of the week for the Scorpios, and congratulations. Congratulations and celebrations. I know you're happy for the Scorpios who have their birthday this week. We will start with the astrology card of the week this week, and we will go into the week for the Scorpios. Then we will end with a tarot card of the week, and we have them over here. And then we'll go into section 2 a bit deeper while we're driving around with the drone and looking at this beautiful colors of this time of year. So before we go into the astrology, let's take a look at the astro card of the week for the Scorpios. Yeah. Whoops, here it was. It was upside down. So it was actually like this. So it's the 12th house, and it's about escaping from reality. It's a good way to start the week. That's why I take these cards, just to see where in the chart do we drop in as the first thing. Alright. So this week we have Venus here. Moving forward on Thursday in your 12th house is a Scorpio, where the Sun is here in the 25th degree. And Venus is here. She's moving backwards until around the 25th degree as well, and then she will be moving forward in your 12th house. This is when we draw this card, it's because it's important what's going on in your 12th house. Very important also with Venus, and it's about your relationships with others. Again, there is something you really need to let go of and not escape. A side of you, something hidden. It can also be something that you perceive as hidden enemies. But if we have hidden enemies around us, often it's because we attract something within. Or if we are very much indeed light workers, we can have some people trying to, get us down. But in fact, if you raise your energy high enough, love-wise, and clear yourself enough in your heart, open yourself up, it should not be a problem. Because the lower vibrations the darkness cannot take darkness to a light room. So if you are exalted enough, if you are altered enough energy-wise, vibration-wise, we imagine that light is information, is knowing, and darkness is ignorance, then if you know something, you know it. You cannot fall into darkness. So it's about not escaping reality now in your relationships, using it for escapism, or not wanting to see what you contribute with of darker things in your life to your own life. But in fact, realizing them and accepting the deaths and the losses that you have, and use it for improving your spiritual world. Because the 12th house is also a spirituality, but there's a fine line of escapism or illusion and disillusion, deliric states, and actually clairvisions and contacts with our higher self, really hearing the voice of that, or creator, or if you have a master. Yeah, so let's turn the camera. Okay, so that was that. Let's go into the week. What is the high point? I will start out with the moon quickly, and for those who are not that interested in the actual astrology, I'll just do it quickly. I just quickly, for everyone else that are interested, say that we start with the moon occulting Pluto in the 3rd house, Capricorn. Then the moon goes in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday goes through Aquarius. Thursday moves with Mars into Pisces, which is your 5th house, with a lot of crowdedness, as you can see. Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday ends up in your 6th house, right? Okay, so for the ones who doesn't know what this means, this means that this week is going through primarily 3rd, 4th, and 5th house. 3rd house is communication, movement, socializing, organizing, planning things, talking with people, going around town, doing things. But it's crossing over Pluto, which is a planet of transformation. So here you might be forced to transform yourself in some way. It's going to cross over the South Node as well. Up here I don't have it, it's because the North Node is always in opposition to the South Node. But that can bring up some difficulties in communication-wise with others. But try to take the high road and always try to see the highest potential of the other person. And try not to react, but only act from an open heart. 4th house, family, your personal feelings, you know, your inner child coming up, coming out, need to be alone, relaxing, be at home, having a nice time, withdrawing a bit. Moving with Mars here, who is an energetic planet, into your romantic house, 5th house, where there's a lot of focus on your creativity, on your, it could be, and this is on Friday, Saturday, and of course, for a long time here, this has been something, can have had something to do with also some kind of meditation where you receive, or states of meditation, where you receive inspiration, divine inspiration to your creativity. If you have your own business, romantic partners or your children, or just in general following your heart, how to follow your heart and know that. And then it ends up in your 6th house on Sunday, where you have to take care of your health and be focused upon your daily routines and your skills of organizing these things so that they can improve. But let's focus upon what I just said about the following heart side. Right now are crucial times with Jupiter in your 2nd house, which is your values. The constellation of Jupiter in your 2nd house, while Saturn is in your 3rd house of communication, at home, Jupiter at home in your 2nd, Neptune at home in your 5th house, very strong. They are all fighting to be the strongest, and they are very strong. Neptune may be the strongest because he's here the longest time, but this is the last time in our life that this constellation is here. For a year with Jupiter there, so this is where you really can change and benefit from changing your values, Scorpio, on a very deep level. Changing how you view the world into a perspective where you, now the umbrella is leaving the place. Changing the perspective into something where you get the clarity that you already have when you really use your intuition to take over, because these are times for all of us. But of course for the Scorpios it is about your values and your self-worth as well. Also money situation, but it's a time where we need to pick, because we came here with a purpose. And I mean, I could say that any time. I could say that in 10 years, I can say that in 20 years, but this is a time like no other times. From now and a year, 14 months ahead, we have an opportunity that will not come again, of expanding our minds, of raising our consciousness. And it's not a good idea to neglect this opportunity at all. But you choose. Do you want the past as how it used to be, how you used to be, or do you want to change towards who you really are? You have to ask yourself this question. To learn to know when it's your ego talking, when it's the patterns from your parents and your environments, and not the real you talking. Jupiter is going to show you some truths. Light is knowledge, wisdom, and Jupiter comes with that wisdom. Ignorance is darkness, and there's going to be a shift in this world where it's much nicer. It's going to be much nicer to stand on the light and the bright side than to stand in darkness and ignorance energetically, because through letting in lightness our energy levels rise, and it's much easier to go through the difficulties that might come up at the end of 19, the beginning of 2020. So this is a crucial time, especially because we also have Mercury moving retrograde here on Saturday. Mars is changing signs into Pisces, your 5th house, as I said before, along with the moon on Thursday, while Venus is moving forward, as I also said in the beginning, here in your 12th house on Thursday. Saturday, Mercury is moving retrograde, crossing over, not yet, not this week, but he's going to cross over Jupiter and the Sun, of course, also as the Sun moves forward. But what is Mercury retrograde? Well, it's a known thing in astrology. And it's known as a time where we are reflecting, we are reconsidering, we are revalidating, reevaluating stuff. Which stuff are we re-evaluating? Well, we are re-evaluating, since it's in your 2nd house going into your 1st house, your values again, as I said. You're thinking over them. What is it that you really want with your life? Was it what you used to think that you wanted and what you value, or was it something else actually that you really came to realize that was the most important and worth the most for you? And Mercury retrograde also means that it's a very good idea to back up your phone, your computer. Smoke is coming. To back up your phone, your computer, and anything that needs backup. And if you, Mercury is communication and movement. And movement, I mean any means of transport and any means of communication, and that's also like trains, cars, buses, bicycles, anything that takes you from A to B. You really have to be aware of that. You need to leave in good time. You need to be patient with other people also, because often in these times the universe wants us to go inward, and that means that often the universe, can create technical problems for us, so that we cannot just blah 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 blah, blah call people all the time, but that we actually are able to go more into ourselves. So maybe people aren't answering you as fast, and they're not talking so much, and you get like, oh, they don't like me anymore. No, it's not that. It's because Mercury is retrograde. Leave in good time if you're going somewhere because of this. Make sure that you get out of the house in good time, and you should be fine. And just a second, the smoke is killing me. Of the week for the Scorpios. Let's see what it brings, dear Scorpios. Tarot card of the week. It's a new beginning in your emotional world. We're also in the water signs with a lot. And I want to say one thing, very important. With Jupiter in square to Neptune in the water sign of Pisces, your 5th house, you can have a feeling of escapism, wanting to just overspend money on something that you don't need. It's very important to learn not to just throw out money for a lot of things you don't need, or energy, resources, escapism, just escaping, just wanting the bounties of life. In this case, it's better to receive divine blessings. These are the gifts that you can bring along when you're not even here anymore. I'm not saying that you cannot use money on treats and nice things for yourself, but of course there is there's two things, because subconscious things can come up here. with the Neptune in Pisces and the whole Jupiter square to that. So subconscious things can come up and be very emotional and bring you into situations where you need to make a choice again between, do I pick this road? Because a lot of doors are opening now. Which door do you go through? Do you walk through? It's so important. It's not like, oh, I just choose the other door in 2 years. No, we are not in times where it's like that. You choose the right door for yourself now. That you know you have to choose. And it's not so hard. You just ask your higher self and stay in contact daily, on a daily basis, receiving here, you see? The Holy Grail, receiving. See what he's receiving in the cup? Receiving the holy bread, eating food that's healthy on a spiritual level for you, as well as a physical, but emotionally as well. Choose the right friends, people to hang around with. Choose the right things you're watching on television, doing, environments you're in, and you will have a new start. You can have a new start now. Of course, you're Scorpio, it's Scorpio season, you are having a new start. It's your birthday, that's a new astro year. The astral year starts when your birthday is, and then you have a new year. So pay attention to the energies around you now. These are the things life wants to teach you for the next year. And you know that it's not that hard if you don't follow trends, but follow your heart. Then you'll always know where to go. Stay in the flow. The 5D synchronistical time instead of the linear 3D, and you'll be guided all the way and you're safe. And this will be bountiful for you. See you next week. Thanks for watching, Scorpio. Now section 2. Let's go for a ride. Hi there and welcome to the second half of this program. I will now describe which topics we will touch here as lightworkers on each of our individual and collective spiritual mission on this planet. So in this section, we will first talk about going from 3D to 5D, 3 dimensions to 5 dimensions, dimensional sphere. Topic 2, and these will be shortly touched. 3D time is sequential time, whereas 5D time is synchronic time. What is that? 3, section 3. When do we download and upgrade as light workers? And how? Energetically, and how do we feel the symptoms physically? 4. We need to learn to become our own masters. Lesson of Scorpio, which started in 2012, especially. Now we're taking the more ultimative tests. 5, section 5 is one of my favorites. The communication form of the future, telepathy. Section 6, cleaning, not just of ourselves, but of everything. Part 7, awakening, what happens to those who do awaken and those who don't. Section 8, about choosing a certain life path or lifestyle and the consequences, responsibility of it. When self-created issues are there, only you can change them. Part 9, the 12th house collectively. Mars is entering into Pisces. What does it mean? Section 10 is the relaxation technique, where I'm guiding a relaxation that I did just after my silent retreat in a certain condition that you can get transferred to you as I do the relaxation. It's in the link below, so follow the link right after the links to the different star signs and be directly guided to this place in this video where I make a 5-minute relaxation in the condition I had right after my retreat. Welcome to section 2. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for all the responses on my silent retreat video of how you felt that these messages and downloads that I got actually were so appropriate for your life just right now, like answers for you guys. Like one of my very best friends also told me that, whoa, it was like as if I was talking directly to her. But not only her, several people came back to me and felt like they were even being charged by the same energy and upgrading through the energy of that video. I just want to say thank you for that. So, let's start. I want to start with point number 0 about the 11th of the 11th and twin flames. It was not in the teaser, but it's here as part number 0. Yesterday, today it's Monday, yesterday Sunday, it was the 11th of the 11th, and at 11 o'clock in France, they celebrated that it was 100 years ago since Armistice Day, since the truce for the First World War. But it was also a gate opener for twin flames, soulmates, and conscious relationships to take a step up, to ascend, and to have the chance to walk through certain gates and portals and opening up towards critical things, crisis, that is actually the possibility of being healed, of course. So what is a twin flame? Well, a twin flame is when the masculine and the feminine part of a soul incarnates at the same time. I am with my twin flame now. Not now, because we are in our phase of separation, which is a classical phase in this, but that's a long story. I'll make videos about that too. But when the masculine and the feminine part of the soul, when we incarnate, the first time we incarnate, the soul splits into 2. Some souls chose to incarnate simultaneously in this life. So it's when the masculine and the feminine part of a soul incarnates at the same time. And people will be like, oh, isn't this the most romantic? No, not necessarily. Yes, there is the honeymoon phase. But the second part is the separation, where you mirror each other completely. You serve as each other's mirrors for all the flaws and all the karma of your parents and yourself. You get it like a mirror when you see your twin. So it's a really, really tough soul work. Of course, there's a connection you can't have with anyone else, of really coming home. But at the same time, it's hard spiritual work, and we do this. Many twins do this, incarnate simultaneously in this life due to the need for extra light work in these huge transitional times on this planet. Here I'm referring to the grand constellations in 2020. I will talk more about it more and more in these programs. The 11th of the 11th is a gate where the twin flames and the soulmates had gates opening up for them to alter their level of consciousness through their relationships towards 5-dimensional. So, okay. So, when do we... Now we come to going from 3D to 5D. What is 3D? What is 5D? 3D is the reality that we know. We are in 3 dimensions. We can see and feel and touch things, and we knock upon a surface, a table. Oh, it's a firm table. We have this here and there, and you can categorize everything in boxes in our thoughts, and it's narrow. It's limited because everything here is scientific material, and only what can be proven and certified by a certain number of people is validated. And it's also, when it's only, so that is okay. That is the bottom line, and it's a certain vibration as well. The 5-dimensional sphere is different. The 5-dimensional sphere is when we open up towards our higher selves. And we do no longer follow just the logical, rational path, but we receive information and we are in the flow, and we expand our mind to a level where it's no longer our own thoughts, but we connect with something bigger. This is another program for itself, where I'll go deeper into it. In this program, we will go into, as I said, what is the time frame for the 3 dimensions, and what is the time frame for the 5 dimensions? As I said, the 3D time is sequential time. We have tomorrow and we had yesterday. It's linear. And everything has to fit into these boxes. At 9 o'clock, you do this. And that is when we do that. And everything is organized. And by that, you're shutting down towards 5D. Because you're shutting out the flow. Because in synchronistic, in synchronic time, which is 5D, you're in the flow. So you receive information of where to go next. Smoothly, in a nice vibration, where you ask for something, you pick to open up towards your higher self and where you need to go in this life. And you only do that by dedication and will and wanting this 100%, because you need to do it in all that you do. Even though we have to be in 3D time still, because the planet hasn't altered completely yet. Of course, we have our work and our different things we need to do, but we can go in and out of the 3 and 5 dimensions. Like when I pick information for my personal clients, I even upgraded so much now that I can actually see their higher selves more and more. Like they speak to me, show themselves in different ages, depending on what they want to show. And then I almost can enter their body and feel where they are and what they feel. That is 5D, because we're out of this frame where everything is solid and only one way, and only if you can experience it too and 100 other people, then it's real. Because we narrow our mind there. In synchronistic time, we choose and pick. Okay, I'm going for it. I'm going for this call that I have. I'm going down this timeline, or I'm picking this timeline. Once you do that, the universe will conspire to lead you in the right direction. But since other people might be involved, you need tolerance and patience, and then you need to not be fixated upon the will, the ego, wanting it to be at that specific time, because then you might miss the train or the signals or the signs, because they are subtle and you need to learn to know them more and more. Because in synchronistic time, then suddenly the right people turn out the right places at the right time, and miracles can happen here. It's more narrow, limited in 3D. More about that later on. I will come more and more into this, because on the planet right now, a lot is going on. As I said before, section 3 is about when do we download and upgrade, like as light workers. Like what are the symptoms upon when we upgrade and get new downloads? Like, for example, for your spiritual ascension level, we are upgrading quite a lot right now because of the ascension level that we need before 2020, as much as possible. Now is the time to get it. It's going to be harder afterwards. So the people who are the forerunners and the ones, the light workers that are leading the first wave, we upgrade a lot. And then the second wave was that take also a very great load, getting more and more people to ascend. They also have this more than you think. So the signs of that you're upgrading, it could be like a loud tone in your ear, a ringing of your ears, between your head, like suddenly, or oh no, I can't say. I don't know how to say the sound, but sometimes like a very small sound for your one ear, the other ear, and then the tone shifts. It's because the energies are working upon you, and it's a good idea to lay down and relax in this case. Over the 20 years I've had these things like loudly, I realized it's better to sit down, for example, just to relax and receive. Then it's even more effective. And you feel, or just the number 2, just like, you just suddenly wanting to lie down. Number 3, like dizziness, sometimes like for a couple of minutes, sometimes for days, maybe even. The symptoms can also be like nausea, depending on how big a download you're getting. And by the way, there's like higher realm holistics. She's very much into these things as well. So if you want to go deeper, she's a good one to follow. And then we have, she's in here on YouTube as well. Like some of the things that I get a lot, and that's been my thing, and people who knows me probably tried, where I see these power glimpses, suddenly I get like if you, how can I describe them? Like if you have light, the whole light of a huge light, but put into one single little dot. So intense the light. It's from another world-ish. Like these power glimpses, like suddenly. Also when I sit with clients, sometimes I see it just over their shoulder, or to the left or right of their head, or I see the power glimpse, and I see, okay, they're getting upgraded, and it's a sign of that, and also sometimes it's a sign of that we're in contact talking with the higher self, but it's often an upgrade. It can also be like the flimmering on the television screen when it's like black and white, like I don't know if they do it anymore, but just like energy moving in front of you, like when you before you sleep and you see the movement. Of course, all of these symptoms can also just be symptoms of your body being tired and other things. But you ask your higher self, is it or is it not? Like, what is it? Should I lie down? I mean, anyways, whether it's a body or it is upgrading, you should lie down when your body tells you to, if you can. I mean, it's not always possible, so. But also it depends on, that like we're upgrading the whole matrix of the level of svingningsniveauet in Danish, the frequencies in like this spiral we are in energy-wise, and it can also be like in the third eye, the Kundalini rising, like or in the the third eye. Between your eyes and a little up, when there's upgrades here, you can get like a headache while it's happening, and sometimes it's like you can see geometric figures like the Merkaba pyramids. You can look that up, Merkaba pyramid. I will see if I have time to make a video about that. Sign number 6, like intense tiredness can come in these phases. Like you're like, why am I even tired? And then, okay, then you know why. And then it can, like, also because we're having Uranus in the Aries, and it's, Uranus is always driving different upgrades, and now it's going on our identity again for the last time, and the body a lot here in Aries. We will feel that through that Uranus energy. He's a good upgrader from 3D to 5D. And remember, like around new moons, also we also deals with extra tiredness very often. 7, sign number 7. Sometimes when we lose words and can't find the words, and we are like in this kind of Pisces condition where God, the universe, meditational states are the important, and you feel tired. No, you don't feel tired, but you feel like blurry in the head, so words aren't so important because you're downloading. It can also be like that you're feeling hungry, or that you feel like you're starving. So also when we need to learn to become our own masters, and not all the time mirror ourselves only in other people or in the God or in if we have a master or something. We have to integrate this in ourselves, and this is also what's a part of the Scorpio energy, because you learn to master here. This is really where we learn to master, and we go from darkness into light, and we're mastering ourselves. We're mastering all the sides of ourselves, and not only just trying to blame it on other people, but you also take responsibility in this to master the processes. So also because we are in this period, which is and the other section that I mentioned, a very important one, where we are preparing ourselves on the communication form of the future, telepathy. That will be the future communication form. It is already now. Back to the future. We are in the future. We already use it. We're just not aware of it. We send each other thoughts all the time. We seriously do. We send each other thoughts all the time. We just don't realize it. So we just, we think that it's our own thoughts or something, but often it's other people thinking about us. That's why the thoughts are so important. Because we really affect others, you know. So be aware of what you're thinking and what you're sending out. Because it's energy and the vibrations are reaching others. So it's also because of that the telepathy will be the communication form. There's a need to, these openings are needed to be made to get a telepathic contact. But telepathy are like wordless words sometimes. Like when I get telepathic messages, just also from the other realms or dimensions, it's like I get into a state, a condition, and I look for words or images that are resembling with the information that I get. Like the information that I get can be very short and tense. No, and what do you call it when it's compact? And then I have to unfold the information because it's in a small handful of a state I just get, and there's a lot of words to describe it. And this is the same with telepathy. So we are these times with Uranus here. We are breaking down, upgrading, breaking down, upgrading, like breakdowns, breakthroughs for all with Uranus in Aries, and it's about your identity. And of course, I repeat stuff sometimes. It's because it's very good to be reminded about things you know already, to remember to integrate it, because we are light workers here. We are here to help the earth move in the right direction. We have a purpose here, right? So that's why you're on this channel, as I always say. Otherwise, you wouldn't have not reached this minute of the show. There's a reason. We're always guided towards the right things for us. And when you have raised your energy level, because we have to work upon it, we have to wash our energy every day through meditation or cleaning. Just like we clean our bodies, we need to clear ourselves mentally and energetically to keep the open heart. Because in 5D we have the open heart. And when you have raised your energy level through working upon it, through eating healthy, through choosing the right relationships for yourself, through all these choices you make to clear yourself, it's really important not to drop again, but keep it. But it takes will and dedication. So if you want to go up in 5D and others around you are stuck or keeping you down, Venus retrograde, which is the last week in retrograde, then she's moving forward, so she's still in her phase, but can help you cut the cords to these energies. And to clean on relationships, we have to clean ourselves, but not just ourselves, but also people, but also our homes and our communication, our means of communication and everything around us. And send the earth and your loved ones. You can send the earth and your loved ones like protective energies through love, also telepathically, and know that you're always protected against anything dark or low. And dark, you have to remember that darkness is ignorance and light is wisdom. So don't be so afraid of darkness if you are in the light. Only thing that can bring you down and vulnerable is if you fear it. But if you know and you ask for protection, you just ask for protection and then you create it for yourself and your family through love. But with Venus retrograde, we're releasing all these kind of things right now, and that can't go with you. They have to be released, otherwise you can't ascend. And we have this awakening tipping point that seems to be reached now, actually. And we'll have its effect in 2020, but we are more and more than we used to be. We are more than we used to be and think that we are. And more of the youngsters have brighter minds growing up now, showing the way. Even though also the whole time is weird with all this internet and escapism and pornography and 3D substances, always wanting to look young, always wanting to, being caught in the middle, because 3D is also the rat that has to run in its wheel, because you have to look young and you have to be rich and have to be successful. That is the manipulation of the 3D realm. Then you're kept like a rat in a wheel, because then you're just striving for that, and then you're forgetting everything else. You're easily controlled. Right, so it's about stopping that illusion. But if you are awake and you are on your way to ascension, but you have to know that heavy metals, chemtrails, porn, drugs, alcohol, fear, fluorides, which are acting like heavy metal in the human body, microwaves, radio waves, sensational cravings for sensation through the news and the media, and addiction for stimulation, all keep us down and in zombie states where we don't wake up in the 3D. And what we use, we vote for. What we buy, we vote for. So if we want to raise and alter consciousness, you also have to make conscious choices. Like when I'm out in the countryside without the waves, I so clearly see, and my heart is like really open. I'm in 5D, and I communicate like almost now like my level is so raised because I did the hard work. Got a lot of help from people around me. Like for example, my partner, my beautiful partner, he shows me the way through showing me my shadow sides that I need to clear, and the more shadow sides I need to clear, the easier it gets to see clearly and to feel the intuition. That's what a conscious relationship, like twin flame soulmates, or just conscious relationships are. That's when you realize that what they're telling you is true. There is something about that you are this and that. Of course, if your partner is always saying, "Oh, you keep nagging," or "You keep meh," maybe you should choose another way to say things. Instead of saying, "Oh, I always have a complaining partner," and then you can keep complaining about each other. But then find a sweet and nice way to say what it is that you have to say, so they say it with an open heart, so they can keep an open heart and mind when you say it. Right? But in the city, it's harder, of course, with all the waves and the lower energies sometimes to get raised. So if you can get into the countryside, sometimes being nature or being forums where people only meditate, because we create energy through what we do, the actions we do in a certain area. So if someone has always been meditating for 50 or 45 years, then of course that's the energy level there is very clear. And I mean, let your heart guide you towards places where the energy is right for you, is what I mean to say. We need to detoxify, not only mentally, but also the heavy metals in the body. And you can do that with ceolite, for example, like volcanic minerals or detox. There are so many ways. Ask me in a comment and I will help you. And I also had some people telling me like, "Whoa, what's going on with the five? With me suddenly really hearing my ancestors, talking with them, feeling them in my body, opening up, so that the level of communication was like scary in a way, because how to handle this." How to handle all of that? Well, it's again a part of the ascension process. I promised to say something about this, and the two people who asked about it know who they are. And of course, you have to know that what I've just been talking about now is this ascension from 3D to 5D. Is these walls breaking down? It's very natural, because the time is not linear in 5D, so you can travel in time. That's why a dead parent or others can get in contact with you. It's not that wild. It's just wild because we closed down towards it and made horror movies about it. It's beautiful. I have my mom close by often. Not only my mom, I'm like even my partner's mom. I can, yeah. So, well, okay. So the Venus retrograde ends, and we have a new direction. So a new vision upon how to handle relationships now. And by the way, I want to thank you guys for the support from my hospital, also from the Spanish viewers, because there were so many kind people who asked, "Oh, how did it go? We want to pray for you." And I just want to say I had the most amazing operation in my knee. The whole hospital, well, also due to my partner, myself and my father. My partner sat in Tokyo, my father was with me, and we just opened up the channel and asked for the grace of the master, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to float through us. And so many people blessed and wished me luck, and that the whole hospital was charged with love and positive energy. So everyone I met, it was like just such a joyful experience to be at the hospital. No fear at all, and people coming in and out. Also after my retreat, people came in and out of my life, like giving me like as if I was just being used to give answers to people without even knowing that. Bam, another one coming in, and it was like that at the hospital as well. Like the other patients around me, or what is it called, hospitalized people. They also seem to have a purpose of being able to give me something, also just love and appreciation, and me giving them something back. So it was just like so beautiful, actually. So you can have a beautiful experience if you code yourself and program the situation and your heart to be open in a certain way. But also thanks to the one that helped me like that. But again, next section, and I will be done within 5 minutes. You are the creator and the co-creator of your life. So whatever is there is created by you, and thereby your responsibility to fix. So victim roles won't serve you. It's self-created. Your intuition, higher self, heart, guides, and probably also your body told you many times not to do certain things, yet you end up doing them subconsciously or even conscious, these conscious patterns. But these are times to choose. What do you want? And know that your choice has a sub-choice that follows along. If you choose to want to work and earn a lot of money and work 80 hours a week, yeah, well, you're not going to have that romantic partner life, and you will not have that much time with your children. So your choices have causes and effect. And when self-created issues are there, only you can change it and help yourself. And this is because of the chosen lifestyle, life route or routine you have. You've chosen to have this job, partner, focus, hobby, escapism, etc. So now you have to, of course, pay the price of what you chose. But there is, as always, a second chance, no matter how old you are, unless you're focused upon, you can only change your life when you're 25. Yes, but we can change our ways. We can change the glasses we wear and our perspective. Well, so the illusion is down. So it's a job for us light workers now to take down the curtains. And the people in power and the darker forces need us to stay in the illusions. But what can we do as light workers to help this transition? Stand in your truth is the most important thing. A lighthouse stands alone and just turns. So we are often placed as light workers in places of darkness, which is why we can feel lonely sometimes. And now with Mars in Pisces, which is also like hospitals and mental institutions and meditative states in churches, and you being alone with yourself, prisons even, when Mars is in Pisces, we tend to feel less motivated to go after traditional goals, and we are more motivated to pursue spiritual or emotional drives during this cycle. And we dislike confrontation during this period. So our output is very variable rather than more straightforward, and our energy is similarly up and down, because Pisces are this way, that way, etc. But we may put others' needs ahead of our own, because normally Mars is selfish. And here our more idealistic sides come to the forefront. So during this cycle, going after what we want becomes less straightforward and more complicated. And as I said also in the report, escapism at high levels are coming in. But not to make this too long, I mean, if you feel lost and you are working with yourself on heavy stuff emotionally, then choices that means that you're staying alone for a while means that you actually are doing your light work, and that will eventually lead you to where you want to go, to love. Because this is self-love, and you create this love and attract it. Always work upon that self-love first. And you do that by following your call, your purpose. And we don't want to miss this train or get late to the train, your train. It's now. The time is now. Then you will feel lost. So take responsibility now and charge over your ego to take the charge. Use it for what you came here for now. So once in a lifetime opportunity to help moving forward in each our way. And we spread the light through information, through standing in our truths. And it's the last time in our lives we have these big heavy boys where we have them here in their home signs. So, yeah. But learn to understand your desires and your will, and how you operate is a really important part of these things in Sagittarius, where we also have, even the star in Taurus, a huge one, and we have things, of course, here that we want and we have desires to get, but we have to use it for something like sensible, something that's in concordance, or what you call it, in tune with our call. And it's also, of course, a special time because there aren't any middle ground. It's a really, really clear choice between light or darkness, right? So you can choose the highest degree ever of awareness, the ultimate degree. But do you want to do it? You have to change your ways in all that you do every day. And in meditation we go from 3D to 5D. D is to say that we are shifting from thinking into feeling, and from the mind and its complexities and impurities to the heart with one simple message. Like, do you want it complex or simple? Do you want it wise or ignorant? That's the question. So let's go to the meditation now. I will make not a meditation first. I will just go into this where I was, the energy where I was when I was in the silent retreat, the gift that I got, the upgrade that I got. I will put in that video. It's 7 minutes long, and I feel so much transmission going through me in this energy, in this video, that so many people have told me that they can now sleep after they hear it. People who had trouble sleeping, and they can now meditate. People who had trouble with their thoughts. So try to use this meditation. I will also make a link so that I'll try to make a video, upload a video so that you can always hear it at night before going to sleep or before meditating if you want to. But for now, it's by following the link. You can go directly to it if you ever enter this video, or you can just hear it now because it's coming now. And after this relaxation part where we just go into the body, we will then meditate. If you want to get out of your head and into your heart, start getting into your body. Start relaxing your body. Then it's easier for you to meditate. So in Heartfulness, we start with a relaxation where we relax our whole body. 5 minutes, and then we're ready to just go into the heart and focus upon the light. Or whatever it's not necessarily that you need to say that to yourself, but that's a longer story. If you're able to disconnect, and you can do so. But let's just start, if you want to just close your eyes. Breathe. Feel your breath. Feel your feet on the ground if you're sitting down. Notice the room you're sitting in. Start slowly to direct your attention inwardly to you. Just gently ask your higher self, or you ask yourself, to give yourself the time now to let go of every thought and just get into your body and expect that this happens. Should any thought come in, you just treat it like an unwanted visit. You notice it, and then you just kindly ask it to leave. Feel your feet. Just notice sensation in your feet. Put your attention to your feet. Then take your attention to your ankles. Slowly move your attention up through the lower part of your leg. Feel the muscles relax. Go up to your knees. Feel any tension there, and kindly expect them to relax. Move your attention to your thighs. Feel how nice it is for you to be there with your focus and your intention, making your thighs relax. Move your attention to the lower part of your torso, to your behind. To the stomach. Relax your stomach. Move it to your chest area. Feel how your chest relaxes. Now we're at the shoulders. Feel how they sink and drop. Feel your back from the lower part of your back. You slowly move your attention up. Just feel it. Feel your spine, the center of your spine, or just the spine, from the buttocks and all the way up, slowly up through the spine until you reach the neck. You relax your neck. The back side of your neck. Then you feel from your shoulders how your arms start to relax from the upper part of your arms And all the way down the lower part of your arms, your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. Relax. You feel your face. Release any tension around your eyes, your nose, your mouth. And you let your jaw drop. Feel tension in your lips. You let it go around your ears, forehead. Feel the whole head now, the top of the head. The whole head. Relax. Try to see now if you can put your attention on your whole body at the same time. Just be in your body. Now would be the time where I would meditate upon the heart. You can now sit back in a position that you can sit in for 30 to 45 minutes. Here you can now ask your consciousness to go into the heart and be in the light. And then sit here and ask yourself the permission to stay in the state where it's just you now and your open heart, nothing else. That any thought that had to pass you in your consciousness is moved out and being guided out as if it was an unexpected guest you peacefully and quietly are asking to leave. You can also write to me at the email address if you find in the text below, and I will find you a free heartfulness meditation instructor in your area. You can now shut down for your computer and let the peace and silence, the peace of silence, take on your body, mind, and soul.
There is this angel saying, I'm gonna find my way back home. The secret is love, he said. You've got to lift yourself up, try again. One day you will break through. What you long for will find you.
Don't follow trends, follow your heart.